Next on Newsmakers, a conversation with Seattle Fire Chief Gregory Dean about the busy year responding to calls, as well as its highly trained specialty crews. Hi, welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Sabrina Register. Today we are at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in downtown Seattle. And joining me right now, Seattle Fire Chief Gregory Dean. Chief, thanks so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Pleasure to see you and talk with you today.
Look forward to it.
As I mentioned, you respond to thousands, tens of thousands of calls every year, yet just a portion of them are fire related, which might surprise some people.
Well, we responded to over 80,000 calls this last year, and 62,000 of them were actually emergency medical calls.
Medical calls, so
right.
the remainder being fire calls?
The remainder being fire-related calls.
So that's a lot of medical calls. Is that an unusually busy year, 80,000, or is that typical?
We've been averaging right around 80,000 for the last couple of years. It goes up maybe 1% to 2% every year.
And when you say medical calls, you're talking about a variety of different medical issues that you're responding to?
Everything from falling down to heart attacks.
And so how do you prepare your crews for all the different types of medical calls?
So we spend a tremendous amount of time training our crews. They average, every day they do a minimum of 2 hours. Sometimes they go up to 6 hours a day just training every day they come on duty. And so they're trained not only for medical calls, but because we don't have a lot of fires, you have to stay trained and ready for that. Emergency medicine, you have hazard material, you have technical rescue, you have fires, you have a lot of things. We're like the jack of all trades. We have to be able to do a lot of different things and use our training to help us get it done.
Now, when we talk about the fire department, I mentioned the highly trained specialty crews. Is that a group within the fire department, or are all the firefighters trained that way?
All the firefighters are trained to what we call the operations level to be able to do hazmat, technical rescue, marine, dive and that. But then we have people trained to the technician level that actually can go in and do a lot of different things that allows them to use the highly specialized equipment to be able to read. Like yesterday at the federal building, they had an envelope, and so our people went in and did the testing on that to see what was going on with that, found out it was nothing.
So that's a certain crew that's going to respond to a call like that?
Throughout the whole city.
And how do you prepare that crew to do those kinds of responding to those kinds of situations?
That crew takes on additional training. So not only do they do their regular firefighting training, but then they take on their specialty training, and they have to do that in addition to their regular training that we go through.
So what other types of calls, besides the medical and fire related, and I guess we should talk about fire related calls because those are, a different animal, so to speak. You've obviously got all your training for what potentially is a very dangerous situation for your firefighters.
Well, we start everybody with firefighting because that's our basic premise. How do we get into fires? It's a zero visibility type of business. But in addition to that, they have to be able to recognize some fires turn into hazardous materials. Sometimes, you see people stuck at the top of cranes. We have people trained to be able to go up and do that. We have people that the I-90, not I-90, but the SR-99 and all the different tunnels. We have to be able to send people in there to deal with that if something collapses or something happens there, as well as when we do firefighting on the water. We use our marine team as a safety team on the water side for our firefighters also.
So safe to say you have to be ready for anything and everything.
The jack of all trades, correct.
Any final thoughts?
The EMS is a big deal, and the reason that EMS is big in this part of the country, we've been kind of like the world leaders, and the fact that 56% of the people that have a witnessed heart attack in King County go home from the hospital, and it's a combination of not only the training we do, but the work of the foundation and the citizens, because citizen CPR is what helps. The sooner you get started, the sooner you can stop.
Chief Dean, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers, headline news at the top and bottom of the hour.